Good morning. Today is the 14th of April. You can see all this mustard growing up here. It's doing really well now. It's rained for about a day and a half since I've been out here last time, and all those small little things there are also mustard. Here's horseradish growing up. I just planted this mint from my apartment. If any of it survives, it's okay. If it doesn't, it's okay as well. But I had to cut that mint down because it was up to the ceiling, and it had been soaking in water for about 2.5 weeks, and it had 3-inch roots on it, so I stuck the roots down there about 5 inches. So we'll see. I stuck some mint out here the other day and it's still alive, but not looking very happy, but it's still alive, so I think it'll do fine. Anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do this morning is I'm actually going to go on a little hunt for Japanese dogweed, because after all these years of being out here, I have always walked past this strange place where there's these big, tall, bamboo-ish looking stalks and some big shovel-shaped leaves, and always thought, oh, that's a neat plant, but it doesn't really grow down here for some reason, but it's at a slightly higher elevation. By that I mean like literally a meter or a yard and a half higher or something like that than I am right now. It just doesn't like this small field that I'm in for some reason. Here I'm overrun by stinging nettles, and the flowering plants that I've been showing you for years that explode when you touch them, they're called touch-me-nots. I didn't know that. It's Himalayan balsam. It's also a noxious weed, just like Japanese knotweed is. Did I say dogweed earlier? It's Japanese knotweed that I'm going to go dig up right now. It should have an orange root. So if I'm wrong, the root will not be orange. Even though my garden is right next to a big pile of old brick buildings that they shoved down by the river to stop erosion, the beauty of this place never stops to amaze me. Look at all these plum blossom petals that have fallen down on the moss here. And they're falling right now as the wind blows. This place is so rough and still so amazingly beautiful. It inspires me in so many ways. I really want to do something with this brick, and I'm still working on that, but I've got lots of plans. This is the stalk of a Japanese knotweed plant. So it looks like bamboo, but it's really kind of not bamboo-y at all. It's a little softer. When it cracks open, it looks a lot like bamboo. That really does look like bamboo, but it's something that you can crush up. Now what I'm looking for here is some fresh shoots, and if you look here, here are some shoots of the knotweed, and they say that these young fresh ones taste like rhubarb. Here by my foot is some of this Japanese knotweed that's off the beaten path a little bit, probably on a pile of bricks. And here's an old snail shell. Anyway, so if this is indeed Japanese knotweed under here where I just cut off the fresh shoot, it'll have an orange root. So I wonder if I should do this with gloves or not. Yeah, it's in there pretty good. What color is that? That is bright orange. So I have identified the correct weed. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So in less than 5 minutes, I've picked up about 1.5 kilos of fresh shoots from Japanese knotweed, and it does taste like rhubarb, and The roots are orange, just like they said it would be. I've collected only about 3 lengths of root to take home, and I don't even know if I need to show you, but why not? I've only taken 3 small rhizomes to make tea out of, because I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. But I'll go home and I'll wash that up, and then I'll strip the bark off and keep the orange stuff. Probably use some of it fresh, and the rest of it I'll dry and keep using it. So we'll see. I've never done this before, so it's my first time using Japanese knotweed. Hopefully it's going to be something that will be good. I've heard it has a lot of great properties, so I'm going to research this by testing it on myself. I'm the best guinea pig, so I might as well use it. Okay, I've taken this another step back. You can see the swale is filled with trash. What I mean by trash is just a lot of dirt. And I've put another layer of barely a scoopful along the whole thing. I've stomped it down once and filled up my path that I stomped down. I was going to undig all this stuff, and my shovel broke again. I'm going to try to see if I can work up some sort of wood chisel wedge in my new rock hammer to knock that piece of wood out, but it's in there pretty solid. I couldn't budge it by hand. So this is just loose earth that does not set into clumps. I cannot stack it like I did on the other mound when I first made the original mound, because up here the weeds are just through and through all of this dirt, and it completely destroys my chances of stacking blocks. I mean, you can see, especially as I get higher up here, all the roots down in the swale. Those roots break apart every clump I lift, and it's virtually impossible to even shovel a lump without throwing a bunch of roots up here, and I don't even want these roots here. Look at this stuff. It's just so thick with this stuff, it just breaks apart every clump. Look at that. Do I want that thing in my mound? No, I don't. So it's very painstakingly slow to get these clumps out. Okay, so I found a new branch to make a shovel handle out of. Very stout. As you can see, I've started to cover this in very well, and I've taken it out about, as I said, 3 dig widths out to the right. I've been working on this morning, cleaning out what I had filled in the other day by taking out a couple steps to the right here, and it's just enough earth to barely cover it. I think I'll be able to finish this within the next hour, but you can see how deep this trench is here. I've had people say that I shouldn't dig it deep because it will drain the water out of the logs, but that hasn't been the case at all. The logs hold the water, so plus I always throw all kinds of branches and sticks and weeds into the trench itself, so it's just a big sponge down on the bottom anyway. So I'm not worried about how deep the trench is. Anyway, looks like I'm going to be finishing this mound today. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, it's been another half hour. It's about a shovel and 3 inches deep, and that's probably about a 11-inch long shovel at this end. But as I go towards that end, it's much deeper because I'm trying to keep it sort of level. It's up to my knee almost at the top end of that because this is built on a hill. So I'm going to have to put some baffles in here where I'll just take some earth and build about a 6 or 7 inch mound going across, let's say horizontally there and up there, so that when water runs down this trench, it stops up high, and not all that will run down here to the bottom and build a big lake. So here is the almost completed mound. It's looking pretty good here. Alright, this mound is for the most part finished. I was talking about baffles. I put in 3 little baffles on the bottom to stop water from flowing all the way down the channel. Since this is built on an incline on a hill, I've pretty much sealed up this side. As you can see, I didn't manage to get the dirt out of this part, and I never made it all the way around to this part. I'm not sure if it's that important to do so. I've been shoveling more up from here up on this end, and I will do it until it covers this wood on the corner, and then I'll be done. And I don't care if it's ugly and not finished and not symmetrical or whatever. I'm just going to make another baffle about right here where that stalk is laying in the thing after I'm done shoveling this stuff, and I'm going to plant on this, and then I'm going to go today. Okay, this is my second mound finished. I'm calling it finished, but it's never really finished. It'll be a work in progress for the next 2 years as the dirt settles. Since it is impossible for me to cover this with any sort of mulch like hay or straw bales, there's no way I can do that here because I'm so far away from everything. I don't have any friends who are farmers. In fact, I've never seen a hay bale here. So mulching with that type of thing is impossible. Mulching with these dead things is uncomfortable because they're just hard, and it doesn't really do the same job as straw would do. So I just have to grow a good cover crop. I made 3 more baffles on this side, and I sealed off the corner. I never dug up the rest here. I will do that as needed. It's not important to me right now. So that's the second Hugelkultur mound finished. Alright, thank you, new shovel stick. A big stout shovel stick that you are. Worked really well. It's got that curve that I like. See how that steps back and then kind of goes forward? That's got exactly the right curve or pitch for throwing dirt a long way. If it's a completely straight shovel, you just can't launch things as well as if it has that tiny little curve on it. I don't know how to explain it, but believe me, I have done this hundreds of thousands of shovelfuls. I know exactly what I'm talking about.